Thank you for joining us in today's TDC talk. We have Alexander Black, or known as Mr. Black, which is how I met you on Instagram. You are the founder of Decima Online. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, you can select Decima Online, but yeah, that's right.
Decima Online, which is a Google and YouTube ads agency, and you work with chiropractors, dental offices, online course creators, and much more, generating leads for them. So that's super exciting. Thank you so much for your time, for being on here, and for sharing all your insights in this wonderful way of really getting business to all these different types of industries.
Yeah, Laura, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell us a little more about yourself. This is basically like the rough information of you, which is what anybody can find on your LinkedIn page. But tell us really more about who you are and how you got started into this business.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you said it like I couldn't say it any better than you. So we are a Google and YouTube ad agency. We started as a Google ad agency. Then some of our clients asked, kind of like, can we take this on YouTube? And you know, and like so we were like kind of forced to learn YouTube ads too. So I just learned YouTube ads, and it is like how I do everything. I learn and like I apply it. Like I put my own money first. So I just tried and tested some things, and it worked. Then I transitioned some more clients to YouTube ads, which was an amazing platform. How I started was a little interesting story. So back in the days when I used to work at a stone fabrication company, I was a salesperson, and what I realized is like um leads were not, so like the leads that I got in, the leads were given to me were not qualified. They're just like looking for total different things. I don't know like how they got there. Sometimes I like they would be so confused, and they had their Google ad setup, but back in the days, I think now I believe it was 2 years ago, and I didn't know much about like advertising. I knew marketing, but I didn't know like specifically what Google ads are and how they work, how to make them profitable, etc. So I'm like, I just realized that like leads were not qualified, and so of course, I didn't stop there. I just started analyzing like what I could do to that company to get qualified, like more qualified leads. Therefore, I would close more sales, and company's revenue would increase. So I started learning Google Ads. Of course, the first thing that I went to the first platform I went to was YouTube. All these like I watched all these free tutorials, and I bought a few online courses. That's how I learned Google Ads, and I restructured their Google Ad account with their permission, of course. And then I transitioned to be a like kind of like a marketing manager slash salesperson. So, like I just added another like my title there changed a lot as I grew myself, as I invested in myself. My title changed a lot, but I started like so we started increase so we increased the quality of the leads as well as the quantity of the leads, and their business grew. Indeed, I believe it's 12 months later they saw 400% growth in revenue,
Wow,
which was amazing.
400% growth.
Exactly. And it was time for me to, I'm like, okay, so this is working. So I got another freelance client. So I started freelancing Google Ads. So I got one more client, and we saw success in that too. It was in a similar space. They were in construction space. So like seeing this, I also had previously I had web design knowledge, so I created their landing pages as well. And we saw like a massive success. I'm like, okay, so it's time to take this. I'm like, okay, so I'm passionate about marketing and advertising, but not necessarily in construction. So I'm like, let me just start my own thing. It's working, and that's how I kind of started. I'm like, 2 weeks before Christmas, we parted ways, and I started my own thing, and then it grew like exponentially since then.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And how long has it been since then? I think about 2 years, right? Or one?
Yeah, so 2 years into my so 2 years into my um like learning advertising journey, and 1 year and 3 months into my own advertising agency. So I
That's
registered the business in January 31st, 2019.
Wow, that's amazing. So there's a lot of stuff that you mentioned that I really, really would like to cover because, as you said, this is an exponential growth in a really short amount of time. So, first, tell us, you mentioned that you took courses to learn a little more and to educate yourself, as well as watching YouTube videos, which are for free. But tell us, what courses did you use to get a solid base on Google and YouTube ads?
Yeah, sure. So there was I don't remember the creator of the course, but I believe it was on Udemy, the first course that I've taken because it was the cheapest one. But then I learned, I'm like, okay, so like what I've realized after like taking a few courses on this topic, um, like not every course is worth it because it just like I mean, like no disrespect to these guys, I'm sure they're trying their best, but like a lot of the things that I could learn, I could have learned in the free tutorials on YouTube already. But like the one that changed everything, I believe was um, Frontline Marketer.
Okay.
They have like tube ad. They have this training called Tube Ads training. I believe it's like 970 something. So that was a YouTube ad course which changed or like it taught me a lot about YouTube ads because I couldn't. So you can find like a lot of resources around Google ads, but there's not much for YouTube ads. So that was a really valuable one. And I'm also in Iman Gatzi's agency incubator too. I
Okay.
mean, they focus on Facebook ads inside, but like you can just take it's more of like how to start and grow your own agency, like rather than focusing on like solely Facebook ads. So if you have an email marketing agency, if you have a creation agency, if you are like any kind of like service, but like if you are in the agency space, that course is like totally worth it. I was in it, because it's the 2.0 of their previous course, which was six figure SMA. So I was in six figure SMA, then we transitioned to agency incubator. So like these two courses, like Tube Ads training and agency incubator, are the most valuable ones.
That's amazing. That's great knowledge for anybody that's looking to learn a little more about Google and YouTube ads. But you're an agency that provides this for industries, but you have really gone into a more selective area and you work with particular clients. So tell us exactly what style of clients you work with and why you chose that industry.
Sure. So I started off with, of course, construction clients because I had the experience with everything was a lot easier because I already had the knowledge. I knew like what like they were like they work with exclusively with stones. So I knew the stone types like granite, marble, quartz, and like quartzite and etc. And like who are the providers like MSI stone, like Caesar stone or whatever. I
You
just
knew
knew
everything.
everything, so it made everything easier. So I started off with start with like what you already know. So I knew the industry. I've closed sales. I knew the clients. I know what they want. I know what they wanted. I know what they needed, and I knew the potential problems that they're having when they wanted to get in touch with a stone fabricator. So it just made it a lot easier for me to start off with stone fabricators. But after some time, I just realized I was like I could be a better use. Like as I grow as a person, I know my interests start changing, right? So I read I'm an avid reader, so I read a lot about like behavior, like human behavior,
Mhm.
psychology, and like I'm just so into like this like mental work, like mindset work, and I read a lot about that. So I just wanted to transition to these kind of services. So now I want to work with like therapists. I actually like we got a few projects. Some of my therapist friends now transitioning to online therapy. So now I'm getting like helping them to like get everything online and like systemize and like automate everything. So like but like what I can say for someone who's studying, like use what you already know. Like if you a lot of my friends like who have agencies, one of them is in publishing space. I think now he's pulling his name is Bobby. I think he's pulling now like 100K per month from his agency. He was in publishing spaces like he was 13 because I believe like that his parents were in publishing space or something.
Yeah.
Like use what you already know. Like maybe you like maybe your mom was a doctor, like your dad was a painter, so you were in the painting space. or like maybe your whole family is your whole family is like CPAs. Like start with CPAs. Use what you already know. It's gonna make a lot easier because um, in any form of marketing, advertising, a lot of what you do is research, and it's just gonna you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to understand the industry. So it's gonna like time collapse your results, starting what you already know. But then once you got like five or maybe like a couple of clients and like this consistent cash flow, then you can think of like, okay, what do I like, what my strengths are, like what my interests are. So like as you grow as a person and like as you know yourself more, you can transition to like whatever you want. You can select who you want to work with.
Exactly. That's amazing because not only on a personal level did you go for something that was really more motivating to you, that you really had a higher interest in, but on the other side, you really selected different industries where you could not only help them to generate these leads and be like their marketing agency, but also get to know the process on their end from beginning to end. So that's super, super important when we're talking about working with different industries. And that's really also why it's important to pick an agency that really understands what type of business you are doing. So you help these chiropractors, dental offices generate leads. So tell us a little more about how that happens. Maybe a lot of people listening don't understand exactly what that means. Explain to us what that process of generating leads really is.
Yeah, so I have a four-step process. Everything starts with research again. So like you have to understand the customers, like two things mainly, like their pain points and their desired situation. Like why would people go to a chiropractor? Why would someone go to a dental clinic? Why would someone want to get in touch with a stone fabricator? Because like either, like understanding these like problems. For example, when I back in the day when I used to work at this stone company, like one of the problems where they were having, like either they would have like stains into their current countertops, they would like want a replacement or fixing, or maybe they just purchased a new condo in downtown, now they want to renovate it, right? Or maybe like their countertops are like 10 years old, they're butcher block countertops, now they want to have something that is more durable, more stable, right? And understanding the customer's problems and the desired situation. So problem was like, okay, my countertop is old, my countertop is ugly, my countertop is stained. I can't trust this because like when I cut stuff on it, like it gets damaged. Like it's not trustworthy. So I need something more durable, something more like stylish, like more elegant, like something that looks more luxurious. So that's why someone would go to a stone fabricator. Why would someone go to a dental clinic? Like they would have
A cavity.
they just want to have yeah, like they have a cave. They could have a cave. They just maybe they're so embarrassed with their teeth. Maybe they want to I guess like maybe like they want to have this like Invisalign service, or maybe they want to just like whiten their teeth, or they just want to like clean their teeth. So I'm like understanding the problems and their desired situation is always the first step in any form of marketing or advertising, even in just like business in general. And then we dive into, so I'm going to specifically talk about Google ads. So I want to like say like what Google ads are. So like if anytime you go into Google and type something, usually the first three results, it could be more or less, they're ads. Like, and you're going to see a two-letter on the left. I guess now they changed the user interface, but like two-letter on the left, which is black, says like ad. That's how you know that it's an ad. So someone's paying to use that real estate and get you into their like get you to use their service versus other people's. So for example, if you're looking for dental clinic in Queens, New York, you would go to Google and you would type, dental clinic in Queens, and you would click on one of the first two results. And if they are able to close you, then you would become a paying client. So the first step is like understanding the customer's pain points and desired situation. Second thing is actually understanding the platform. So like, why would someone go to Google, right? Um, they're like they want to find something. That's why it's called a search engine, right? And if you're pretty much like if you're at the right place at the right time when they're looking for you, you'll pretty much get like if your offer is right, if you're like, if you got good reviews, if you have a proven track record, you pretty much got this client. You pretty much closed it. So your advertising campaigns are gonna skyrocket it. And then the kind of like third step is like troubleshoot, optimize, like analyze. So like you would if you're just starting over, you don't have any data to compare with. But for example, you charge anywhere from like 1,000 to 3,000 for your services, and your lead cost is like $50 to $100. So like, how can you make this, for example, like your lead cost now, like you've advertised, one lead just costs you like $100, and you want to like lower this. Now you would have a target CPA. For example, you want to now like half the lead cost. So you maybe want to like make it $45. And like, how can you optimize it better? Like, how can you write better ads? How can you put your like, how can you like bid keywords that are more relevant? For example, dental clinic, just like bidding dental clinic phrase versus dental clinic cost, or dental clinic near me, or dental clinic in Queens. Just being like more specific, more targeted, more like high high intent purchase keywords would get you like would increase the overall ad quality and the quality score that Google has for you. That would be like, you know, like the third step is like always troubleshoot and optimize. And the fourth step is like, how can you scale this? So like now maybe you reach your goal of 45, or like maybe you're like making profit from the ads. Like, how do you reinvest profit? Like, how do you scale your campaigns profitably? And so like there are a lot of strategies, like you know, nitty gritty stuff, which I don't really want to get into it, but like you know, for example, if you want to scale a campaign, do you just increase its budget, or like do you duplicate a campaign and increase the budget so that the campaign which is already running still doing its thing, where like you're testing new budgets with the new campaign? So yeah,
That's awesome. There's so many little details that I'm sure that you have so much knowledge about really when you're starting to play around with Google Ads. But for a more basic overview of the ads, like you mentioned, when you're doing Google Ads, it's basically you're paying the platform to be one of the first 3 or 4 at the top. And this applies to desktop and to mobile. So Google Ads is a way for you to be there when people are searching, as a contrary to maybe Facebook ads where you show up to a targeted audience, but they're not necessarily looking for you. I believe this is also, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's why I mentioned like knowing the platform is always the second step, because like, you know, first knowing the customer, then knowing the platform. Like, why would someone go to Google? Again, like they have the intention of, you know, finding something, versus Facebook advertising is mostly based on interest and behavior targeting.
Exactly. So this means that you're already there for someone who is already looking around or fishing around for your product. So that's even better. And for these clients or industries that you work with, it's really super beneficial, because if they have an offer, which I want to get into in a little while, if they have the offer, then what you mentioned, they're 100% going to become a client as long as you have everything optimized. So that's so important for any type of business out there that's really looking for clients and looking to gain more audience. If they have a good offer, they can get onto Google Ads and they can work with the specialists who can really decide what keywords are best in order for them to show up at the top, and also to keep the cost low, because we want to keep the cost low so that the budget at the end is a lot bigger. So tell us a little about how you decide what the offer should be with these clients.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you mentioned, and good question. You know, there's like a common I guess misconception on advertising when businesses come to me. Like, they just believe that like advertising is magically gonna save their business, which is not the case. First of all, your offer, even before your offer, like your service delivery needs to be in place. You have to have a proven track record, and meet your reviews, so that you are like ready for advertising. Not every business is ready for advertising yet.
So
And
important.
yeah, if they have like, if a business owner, like when a business owner has that mentality, like, oh, advertising is going to save my business, I don't have to do anything, your ad campaign is probably gonna suck. So like, and no wonder why they suck, because people just like don't want to work with you. You're forcing, and you're still like wasting your money and resources, your company resources in the wrong place, like where you should be investing into your service delivery, your like operations, and your customer support, customer service. So like creating an offer. So it's um it's important to approach every campaign, every client with a beginner's mind, like assuming that you don't know anything, you have ideas, but like maybe if you don't have any previous data, of course. For example, like when you're in the therapy space, your offer could be 10 minutes free consultation call, or like 30-minute free consultation call, or maybe an assessment of their like why would they have anxiety, if you treat anxiety, or maybe you are a CBT, like cognitive behavior therapist, who work with like people who have addictions or whatever. It is the quiz, like maybe you have a short quiz, like or assessment, like why you're like what is the source of your anxiety, or like maybe if you're a stone fabricator, um is like our offer was like free estimates. So like they can call you, they can like just they would give us all the information, and we would give them a free estimate, and based on this pricing, and we would move forward or we wouldn't. So like it's all about like approaching with beginner's mindset, and test at least like 3 different offers if you can. And like just approach with a beginner's mindset. Like don't just assume that, oh, this is gonna work, this has to work, and like going with one offer and your whole ad campaign is not working just because of that. So how to craft an offer? Again, pain points and desired situation. We're always gonna go back to that. Like what do people want when they talk in their business? They probably want to get the price. Like, and of course they want to trust you, they want to know you, they want to like you. But like they probably want to know the process, like how you approach to this. If it's a remodeling business, for example, a lot of the business owners, not business owners, a lot of the homeowners are actually concerned about their home. Like it's their home, right? It's probably the most important thing they have in this world. But they're really concerned about the process. Versus someone, like a lot of the clients, they come to me, like they don't care about the process that I am applying to their campaign. They just want they just want to have profitable campaign. They just want
The leads to come in.
their phone to ring. Like all they want is like just to get more emails, get more phone calls, and they don't really care about the process. So it's really, really important to understand your target audience. So you always start with understanding their pain points and desired situation. So and you craft like 2 to 3 offers, and you test them, and you see which one is performing the best. But when you are performing the test, you only keep one variable different, and you would the all other variables like copy and bidding strategy, bidding type, campaign type, and the keywords, they all should remain the same, so that you understand like which one is working better. Because if you have like 2 variables, for example, one ad campaign is performing better, but like it has different ads and different keywords, and you don't know like what's the denominator that is, like what's the thing that is making this ad more successful than the others, you don't know, right? So it's important to keep just one variable different, and the others should remain the same, and performing experiments.
That's great. I love that you're mentioning so much that we really always have to go back to what are the pain points of our clients. And I love this quote that it's, you don't sell a product, but you sell a solution to a problem. So I think once a business has that really set in stone, they can go from there and they can really expand their advertising. Another thing that you mentioned that was super important is this isn't the solution that's going to save your business if you don't have all the other steps already check marked. So you need to make sure that you have A+ customer service. You need to make sure that your services are exactly what your clients are looking for, and that really all around you're offering a good experience for these customers. Because no matter how much money you end up putting into Google Ads, you're not going to see a great outcome if you're not offering all that's necessary for a business to have. So I love that we are really going into the nitty-gritty of what a business needs to do, which is really solve these problems. So tell us a little more. Let's say a business already has this check mark. They believe that they have good customer service. They're getting tons of reviews. clients really love their product or services and they're ready to exponentially grow or scale their business. How much would be the average budget to start off with putting into the platform? So besides the whole agency management and everything, if somebody wants to go directly to the platform, what's that budget that they have to keep in mind that they're going to be using?
Okay, great question. I mean, there's no like, a fixed answer to this. Every business, every industry, every location is different. But it's important to look at the statistics. So for example, if you want to go into Google Ads, it's important to just like do your homework, do your research about like what's the average cost per click, right? For example, in Google, average cost per click is around $1.
Mm-hmm.
It's $1. So like you, if you don't have any previous data, um, I would suggest you go with like cost per click. So how many people would you want to like click your ad in a day? For example, if it's or in a week or in a month. I don't know how you every person is different when setting goals. Some people might set yearly goals. Some people might set um, weekly goals. Some people might set daily goals. So it's important to set a goal, a company goal. For example, I have and of course it depends on revenue too. But for example, when like with local clients in New York City, we start with like 1,500 to 2,000, and we go from there. So you can like there's a lot of information out there. So you can do an industry specific research, like what is the you can just like literally type in Google like what's the average lead cost for an personal injury lawyer, you
Mm-hmm.
know. You can like, and based on that, for example, if it's $50, and if you want to get like five new clients in the next 2 weeks, so you would apply 5 times 50, which is I believe
Two.
$250. Then you would put that much of a budget into your advertising campaigns. However, you know, because you're gonna be testing some offers and testing some copy and testing some um, bidding strategies, bidding types, some keywords. It's important to like put buffers because like you are going to be testing and you are probably not going to see results for when you are like you're probably not going to see results right off the bat. So it's important to like keep that in mind, and also it's important to understand your business and your cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if but like usually where we start is like 1,500 to 2,000 for local clients in New York. But
Yeah.
I have some clients in Chicago. I've had some clients in Texas, and in Texas the cost per click was a lot lower than New York, so we didn't have to start with 1,500. Even like we just had to like use $750 per month budget paying Google Ads, and they would get like decent amount of leads. Even sometimes they just like turn off the campaigns because they're just like overbooked and they're like overworking. So yeah, but it's important to understand the industry average, like lead cost, industry average, cost per click, and of course your goals and your cash flow.
So there's definitely many factors to consider when you're thinking about investing. And like you said, you can always search on Google what's that CPC, the cost per click in your industry, in your location, and whatever it may be. But do you have any other resources that we could use just to get like an overview of maybe what the cost would be, of what other ads would look like, or of examples?
I mean, there are tools that you can spy on your competitors' ads. One of them is SEM Rush, so that if you have like budget of like I believe it's 150 or 160 per month, you
Mm-hmm.
can subscribe to that service and like spy your competitors' ads, and you can see that how much they're spending into their traffic, so you can just like have an idea. For example, if you are the stone fabricator and if you find like 2 3 competitors that are advertising on Google, you type their URLs, it just shows you like what keywords they're bidding,
That's awesome.
what are their ads, and how much they're spending overall. Like what's their like traffic, um, like how much their traffic worth. And there's also something called like CPC map, so you can see in I believe it's I don't know if it's like global, but I only look at you know states in United States.
Mhm.
So you can just like see like for example CPC might be higher in New York. For example, it's like $2 in New York, but it's like 70 cents in Texas, right? you can see that they have a service called like CPC Map under SEMrush. It all comes with the SEMrush service when you subscribe to that tool. So that's one where like one place that you can spy on your ads. A second place that I would go to is Google Keyword Planner. So inside of your Google Ads Manager, there's something called Google Keyword Planner. When you type, for example, you type 2 to 3 relevant search terms that you want to advertise for. For example, if you are a dental service, you might have like, and you want to get Invisalign clients. You would search Invisalign dental clinics near me, dental clinics in Queens, dental clinics in New York. And it would give you other relevant search terms, and they're like how much do you have to pay to be in the top of the page. So you can select all that information, you can export it, put it into a spreadsheet, and make decisions based on that.
That's awesome. Can you repeat what that last one was? Google Keyword Manager?
Google Keyword Planner.
Google Keywords Planner and SEMrush are the two platforms that you recommend for doing a search and really doing a little spying on your competitors to see what the others are using.
Yeah, Google Keyword Planner is the free one. So if you have an ad account in Google, if you set up a Google Ads account, it's a free service that comes with it. But SEM, if you feel like paying for something more comprehensive and something more like in detail, where you can spy, because in Google Keyword Planner only gives you the relevant search terms and how much estimatedly, like how much you would have to pay to be in like top of the page. But like SEMrush is a lot more complicated. Like it's just a lot more complex, and it's like a spying tool on your competitor. If you just like go to their website, you'll see. I guess like their headlines like spy on your competitor's ads or something. So yeah, if you feel like paying for that service, and definitely worth it. We use it a lot day to day in our agency.
Awesome, awesome. So I'll make sure to put the links down in the description if anybody's interested in using those tools or in checking out more information on that. And like you mentioned, you have to do keyword research. And so there's different questions that you get when using keywords and when really defining keywords, not only for Google Ads, but for SEO, for different blog posts. Everyone knows that it's important to use those specific keywords, but tell us what your opinion is. Is it better to have a more generic keyword or to have a really narrow keyword and maybe have the cost be a little higher?
Yeah, great question. So when doing keyword research, there's a lot of like, you can just like again go to Google and like type how to do keyword research. A lot of it, a lot of people, like actually most of the people, they're focusing on like using tools. But what I focus on first, if they have previous clients, of course, they would have a good proven track record, and they would have reviews, right? So it's important to look at the reviews. Like with some of our clients, we even like track their calls, and like we use a service that transcribes the phone call into a script so that we can find like what are the common questions they're asking.
That's awesome. What system do you use for that? That's super important.
So to track calls, you can use CallRail as a service. Yeah, and some reporting services have that service as an extension too. But like CallRail is the best for like call tracking. I mean, it's not necessary, but it's definitely if you really want to like get this campaign right and like get the more like squeeze the most profit out of this campaign, it's really important, because they're your existing clients. Like who better can tell you than your existing clients like what they need and what they want. And also so when Google Ads depends on your budget. So especially when you're starting out, you just want to make the campaigns profitable. So I would go with more specific keywords. For example, you are a stone fabricator who wants to get quartz countertop clients only. You don't work with marble, you don't work with granite, you don't work with anything else but quartz material. So you would go ahead, like you wouldn't bid quartz counter, like you wouldn't bid the keyword quartz countertops, because it's so generic. Like someone who is searching for quartz countertops, they might be searching for like just to get info.
Yeah, or design ideas.
Yeah, when someone clicks on that ad, you would probably waste your money a lot of times. What I would do, I would find these high intent purchasing keywords. For example, like quartz countertops cost? How much do quartz countertops cost? Or like like countertop fabricators near me, or like quartz countertops for sale, quartz countertops to purchase or whatever. So I would go with like high purchase intent-based keywords versus more generic keywords. Of course, if you have more budget later on, you can add these generic keywords to kind of supplement the like the most specific keywords. But I would like, of course, my choice would be to go with more specific ones.
That's extremely useful. Thank you. And I love that high intent or high purchase intent, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really answering the question of what your audience is really looking for. So instead of using something completely generic, just mentioning the topic or the name of the product or service that you're offering, we're really digging down to somebody that's already a couple steps further and they're looking for more information on that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is true. So how I would set up though, like for example, if you want to later on add more generic keywords, we have separate campaigns for them. So for like one campaign would be, if you want to go with like high purchase intent keywords, that would be like bottom of the funnel campaign. But like if you want to advertise more, like if you want to bid to more generic keywords, then that would be like either middle of the funnel or like top of the funnel keywords. So we would have like separate campaigns for that, so that Google's platform understands its difference, and it just have you would have a better understanding of like which is working better. So creating a separate campaign for each step of the funnel is key to understand, and of course give Google a guidance of like, oh, this is what we want from these people, and this is what we want from these people. And of course, your ads would be different to people who are like looking for your, looking to purchase your product right now, versus they just want to have an idea, and they might have a chance of purchasing later.
Exactly. That's also great information that no matter how the clients are coming to you, you have to know what process they're at. You can't find somebody who's just searching for a style of countertop and already start offering and selling them when they're just maybe searching around or very, very cold in the process. That's awesome.
Yes.
So now I want to jump into the other part of what your agency offers, which is YouTube ads. Not a lot of people know what YouTube ads are, or they might not understand when it happens. But basically, YouTube ads can be in different forms, but the most famous or the most tractionable ones are called pre-roll ads, correct? So tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, like just one more thing to add, and like before we jump to YouTube, I just want to add like one more thing. It is extremely important to have a negative keyword list before jumping into a keyword Google search ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things that you can do with Google Ads. That you might be running text ads, responsive ads, image ads. Like you can promote your app, and you can have like Google Shopping ads. So there's a lot you can do. Like when running search ads, it is extremely important to have a negative keyword list. For example, there are services that you offer and there are services that you don't offer, right? If you are a remodeler who only work with commercial space, and then you would exclude like all the residential keywords, and you would have a list of keywords that you like, or maybe you offer a luxurious service and you don't want people who are looking for like the cheapest solution. So you would add, like you would exclude like cheap, bargain, sale, steal, like these type of keywords. You just like exclude all of them. So again, it's all about your goals and type of service and type of like what type of business you are. Like having you would waste your budget into these irrelevant with these like irrelevant like leads. Like they would call you, but you wouldn't close any business with them, and they would be they wouldn't get what they were looking for, and you wouldn't get what you're looking for. So yeah, I just want to like add
Thank you.
this, like,
Thank you for adding that. That's so important. It's not only the keywords that you are offering, but it's also important to have a list of those keywords that you're not really interested in coming up when people are searching for. Thank you so much for adding that. Exactly. Would that also apply to YouTube ads? Do YouTube ads have a negative list or no?
So, and YouTube is a lot different. So let's just define what YouTube ads are. So most famous ones are the ones that are like skippable. As you said, like, in stream ads. So like when someone monetizes their channel on YouTube, you have the power of advertising there. But targeting is a lot more like Facebook ads in YouTube. So you would find, so you can target the channels that you want. You can target specific videos that you want. For example, if you are one of our clients, for like the anger therapist, if you search him, he has a big following on social media. It's
Hmm.
John Kim. So with him, we ran his YouTube ads, and like, so he has a text offer that he has a text subscription offer. So for example, if we want to find the audience who are looking for, because he is a relationship therapist, like family relationship therapist, you we what we did, what we went ahead and found out, like, the channels who are talking about family and therapy, and we combined this with people who might be, I don't know how to say it, like people who are more intended to subscribe to a text offer. So
Okay.
targeting is a lot different, and you can get really deep with this. So like you can find specific channels, specific videos, and you can like create your video based on that. But what like skippable in-stream ads are, like what you see when you click on a video, and if they're monetized, you would see an ad. And what is like extremely important and like good, it's a huge pro when it comes to YouTube ads. Like when someone skips, you don't pay. And unless someone watches 30 seconds of your video, you don't pay. So like if they skip at any point before 30 seconds, you don't pay a dime. And like cost per view is extremely cheap. It's around 10 cents with our videos. Like 10
Wow.
cents, like with only 10 cents, someone would watch your video, and they didn't skip your video, so it means they're interested, right? So like it just removes all of this like irrelevant people. That's why you see, if you are on YouTube, that's why you see people saying like skip this if you're not this. For example, if they're targeting
Yeah.
people who are making more than $10,000 a month, they would say like, oh, if you're not making $10,000 a month, skip this ad right now. That means like don't waste my ad budgets. Like if you
Yeah.
skip, they don't pay. So that's one of the like huge pro when it comes to YouTube ads.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that that's really the mechanism and the science behind everything that happens on YouTube. So, how would you compare YouTube and Google? Would you offer it to different style of clients? Definitely you have to keep in mind that for YouTube ads, you need that creative, so you need that video. So that's a little different, but is there something else that you base off of when deciding which platform to use?
Yeah, so YouTube ads are a lot harder than getting text ads, because when like there's a lot of um there's a lot of variables to consider, because in YouTube, like YouTube audience, like it's all about the expectation management, right? So when people go to Google, it's all they see is text, right?
Yeah.
And when you come with a text ad, if you have a decent text ad, then you are gonna get the click. But like when people go to YouTube, they have a different expectation. Like they are used to see this like higher quality videos, and if your video, I mean, if your video is not that high quality, like it might not get the traction that you want. Like there's a lot of variables to consider. Um, Text ads are a lot easier to run. All like, and you have like character limits too. So like you can't really have a long form of copy. And also YouTube ads are a lot more work, because you have to produce the video, you have to come up with the VSL, you have to come up with the video script, and you have to perform a lot of tests, and like getting the camera right, the equipment, and the lighting, maybe if you are like really into this.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've seen like some of our videos with John Kim, the anger therapist. Some of the videos were like got really good like views and clicks, with him just talking on the phone with his iPhone, like he was just like recording with his iPhone. Um, Again, it's like approaching with a beginner's mindset would help a lot. So like you wouldn't assume anything. Like you wouldn't assume that, oh, you have to have this expensive equipment, or like this view or whatever. But like YouTube ads are a lot harder to get it right. But
Mhm.
like another like pro when it comes to YouTube ads. So for example, compared to Facebook, um, Facebook's ad revenue versus YouTube ad revenue for like I believe you Facebook's for like over 30 billion and YouTube is only 4 billion. So like
Wow.
and I've read it somewhere. I don't know if it's accurate, but like only 30% of the space on like ad space in YouTube was actually used. So like they need more advertisers. They need more people to utilize the platform,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so the cost per view is like 10 cents. That's why it's so cheap, because not a lot of people are utilizing it. It's not like oversaturated yet. Versus everyone's talking about, like Facebook ads or Google ads, like, they're so saturated. But like YouTube is like a blue ocean for like marketers and advertisers right now. And if they have definitely like, and they might not work for any business. For example, for local businesses, maybe they might not work. But for if you are like a course creator, a coach, video is a great way to reach your audience. And like someone's gonna learn about your product, your business, like about you for 10 cents. Heck yeah, like I'll of course invest in YouTube ads.
That's awesome. 100% true and 100% very, very accurate that Facebook right now, we see it's a little oversaturated, and on the contrary, YouTube really needs that. So what you're mentioning about the 10 cents per view, some people might not understand that, but that's basically that you're only paying 10 cents for a new targeted customer to see your video. And if we compare that,
more than 30 seconds.
Exactly. So somebody that's really interested in whatever video you're showing, your product or service, you're paying 10 cents. So now when we compare that to traditional media, like a billboard, a TV commercial, a newspaper ad, magazine ad, it's crazy. It's crazy how cheap it is. And it's really important that brands begin to explore this new platform, because the amount of views, impressions, and traction that they can get for a low cost is tremendous. Tremendous.
Yeah. And YouTube is a search engine for video. So the most visited website in the world is Google, and the second most visited website in the world is YouTube. Then third is Facebook. So like if you're like on Google, and if you're utilizing Google, YouTube, and Facebook, you pretty much own like 97% of the internet.
Which
So,
is
like,
crazy.
which is crazy. And it with this, like, of course with their partners and everything, like, Facebook, when I say Facebook, it's like Facebook and Instagram and all their partners. When I say Google ads, it's search ads, it's their partners, like like the banner ads that you see on the random websites that you visit. It's all that. Another like pro running Google and YouTube ads versus Facebook and Instagram ads, everyone's talking about like, oh, taking a break from social media, taking a break from Facebook, but no one's talking about like taking a break from Google
or the internet.
like, yeah, it's like, some of your audience might not be on Facebook at all. I know that they have like huge, I mean, of course, I'm not diminishing, like devaluing the value of Facebook ads. I use them, but like, it's just like one more pro. Like people don't approach a search engine as a social media platform. So like they don't want to, like, no one's talking like, oh, I'm gonna take a break from Google. Like I never heard anyone saying that. So like although they might be taking a break from social media, they're still on internet, on Google, are still looking for something. So there's another like pro of running Google ads, because they are able to maintain their users more than any other platform.
That's so important. I feel like we definitely hear that more and more every day, just because the consumption has exponentially grown so much for social media users. Like, I'm going to take a break. I know you were taking a break a couple of months ago. I've taken breaks on social media because we just spend so much time on it. So that's definitely another thing to consider. But what would you give us as like 3 tips for somebody that's thinking about doing Google or YouTube ads? So what are those 3 tips that you would recommend that they do before saying, I'm 100% going into this?
Okay. So again, great question. We're all coming back to pain points and desired situation. Like understanding your own product yourself first, then understanding your own customers, their pain points versus desired situation. And looking at your cash flow. Like, are you even ready for advertising? How much can you like spend? For example, like my like my, I guess, thing for like if a business is ready for advertising, like can I burn $2,000 per month for 3 months and not get any return, but I would still be good as a business, I would still generate more cash flow consistently, then you're ready for advertising. So cash flow is extremely important. If you're like desperate on cash flow, like if you're short on cash, I would suggest you not to start on advertising, because it is not gonna work right off the bat. But it might, but it's not gonna, like it usually doesn't. Like you have to do a lot of experiments. You have to perform a lot of tests and experiments. So looking at your cash flow, and after that, did you get your product right or service right? Like, are your current clients um, happy? Like, are you able to provide good service for your clients? And third, like, are you even scalable? Like, are you like streamlined as operations in business? Like, can you take on more clients? Because if you have a bottleneck, adding more clients are going to add more problems to your business and more frustration. So you're going to end up with like getting more clients, but like, of course, if your profit margins suck, like if they're like at 10%, like 5%, it is really not going to worth that the money that you spend to the advertisements, and also if you hired an agency. And of course, now you're going to find people to blame, and you're going to blame the agency being not successful. So like, understanding yourself, your cash flow, your accounting, your like, P&L statements or whatever, understanding the numbers, knowing the numbers. And second, do you even offer a good service? Like, are you even good at what you do? Like, do you have the proper equipment? Do you have the facilities to be able to serve these clients? And are they happy? Like, are you getting reviews? Like, are they good reviews? Are your clients happy? Do they give you referrals? And the third is that, is your business even scalable? Like, is everything streamlined, and like all the systems and processes in place?
Yeah.
So that you can scale. Like, do you have a bottleneck in your business? So first solving the business's problems, then you're like, okay, I got the cash flow, I got the service, then I got the systems, like everything is streamlined. Now, like, I'm ready to go.
That's so, so useful. Thank you so much, Alex. I definitely feel like we need to do a part 2 about this, because there's so many,
like a more advanced version of this.
Exactly. There's so many things. Yeah, there's so many things that I want to know more about. I know the audience wants to know more about, and I know you know so much about this topic. So I feel like there's definitely, we have to do a second round of this episode, because it was so, so good, filled with lots of knowledge. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing all of your knowledge with us, and for really providing us with so many useful tips that we can use for Google and YouTube ads.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys. That was so generous of you.
So if people are looking for you, they can definitely find you on LinkedIn, Alexander Black. I know you're super active there. You answer all the questions, all the DMs. So if anybody is interested, you can find it down in the description. LinkedIn, Alexander Black. Thank you. All right, so we'll talk soon. See you next time.
Yeah, of course. Yep, see you in the part 2.